Hey folks, and welcome to the winter coding competition. So we use this website, the Advent of Code, to encourage students to participate and learn how to solve some really fun problems. I have not looked at it yet. As you can see, it's all blank, even though it's already day 4. And I'm going to solve the first problem. I'm going to try to do it in Excel and Scratch, and maybe Python if we have time. And just to show you that it can be fun and you don't need to be a super coder to try these out. It's all about having fun and participation. So let's go ahead and look at day number 1. All right. So I'm just going to pause it here. You don't need to have me read it aloud to you. All right, so the first part here, just because it's day 1, tells you how the puzzles work. Basically, every day at midnight, a new puzzle is published on this website, and there are 2 parts to it. Each one is worth 1 star. And then in our coding competition, the biggest prize goes to the school with the most stars. So last year, Rochester Mayo High School didn't have the top coders, like the fastest coders, but they had the largest number of people participating. So they totally overwhelmed everybody else and just had like 100 students do 1 or 2 puzzles each. So got a lot of stars. All right. So this first day looks pretty straightforward. So this is a list of calories carried by the elves, and we just need to know which one is the most. So you could literally do this by hand for this to test your solution, but to get your own personal puzzle that you have to answer, you have to log in. So I'm just going to go ahead and log in with my Google account, which is my school, my teacher account. So now I'm logged in, and you can see at the bottom I get my own personal puzzle input. So every student, everyone that logs in gets a different puzzle input, and therefore all the answers will be unique. You can't just copy and paste other people's answers. All right, so let's get my puzzle input. Wow, so there is a lot of numbers here. It looks a little bit scary. But what I'm going to do is I am going to just copy all of this, Control C, and I'm going to just put it in a spreadsheet. And oh, it's white, so I need to change the text color to black. There we go. Oh dear, I lost the spaces. Okay. So I'm going to need to download it as a file and then upload it into Google Sheets. So let's delete this and we'll try this again. All right. So my puzzle input, I'm going to right click on this, and I'm going to save it as, let's try saving it as day 1. Let's try and trick it into thinking it's a CSV. You could probably save it as a text file, but let's see if this works. All right, so go back to Google Sheets. You could do this in Excel as well. So let's import. Upload from a file. Downloads. Where's my downloads folder? Day 1. Replace current sheet. Import data. See if this works. Hey, it worked. Awesome. All right, so now I have each one here. So how do I figure out? There's a lot of them. which one has the most? All right, I've been thinking about this for a while. I paused the video, and I think I've come up with a way to do this. So what I really want to do is I want to add these numbers up, and then when I get to a blank line, I reset it to 0, and then start adding these numbers up again. Reset it to 0, and then what'll happen is when I get to this, it'll add up all the previous ones. When I get to this one, it'll add up all the previous ones, but this one will be 0 because I said if it's blank, make it 0. So I need an if statement. Basically, every cell here, I'm going to say if the cell next to me is blank, then this cell should equal 0. If it's not blank, add whatever is in there to the one above and to the right. All right, so I'm going to need to insert one row. So if the one here is blank, this should be 0. Okay. If this is blank, which it's not, add this number to this number. So that'll be 9195. Down here, is this blank? No. So add this number with this number. Is this blank? No. So I'm going to copy this formula, right? If it's not blank, I add this number to this number and I get that. So this number here ends up being the total of all of these. I'm pretty sure. Let's double check. Sum of all of these. Okay, so that's right. Now this is blank and it's 0. So let's go ahead. So when you copy a formula in Excel, it's actually pretty cool. It automatically adjusts the numbers and letters for you unless you put in a $sign. Whoops. To force it to be the same. So this one does not have a blank one left, so it adds 7307 to 0. This adds those, that's those, and this is the sum of all of these. And this has a blank one left. So I need to figure out how to do an if statement. Otherwise, I think it's working. Right? And then all I have to do is find the maximum value of this column, and that'll be my answer. All right. So how do I do an if statement? Google Sheets if statement. If function. If blah, 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 blah. Oh, here we go. If A2, so that means if it has anything in this cell, then do this. Otherwise, do this. That's exactly what we want. Okay. So let's go back to our sheets. So I can delete this. I'm going to say so this starts out as 0. Actually, no, let's keep that there as our double check. So if equals if A2, then, so if there's something in there, then we want it to equal A2 plus B1. Otherwise, it's 0, right? So if it's not blank, if there's something in A2, right, I could say, well, if A2, is greater than 0, then I want the value of the cell I'm in to be A2 plus B1. Otherwise, just make it 0. Whoops. Okay. So seemingly it worked, right? If A2, the one to the left, is greater than 0, add A2 and B1. If it's not greater than 0, then make it 0. So we can just copy this all the way here, right? And it says if A9 is greater than 0, add A9 and B8, otherwise make it 0. So it's right. So that formula is right. And let's see if it works here. It worked, right? So because A10 is not greater than 0, it's just blank, it doesn't do this, it does this instead. So now I can literally just go all the way down to the bottom and paste that formula, and anywhere I go, right here, it says if 2192 is greater than 0, it's not, it's blank. Add these, but it's not, so set it to 0. This one here, if this cell, 2196, is greater than 0, it is, then add these two cells together. So that's what's one of the cool things about Excel and Google Sheets is when you copy a formula, it automatically adjusts. Okay, so now all I need to do is find the maximum value of column B, and that is actually pretty easy. I'm pretty sure it's just called max of B1. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to do B1 all the way down to 2271. 69,281 is the maximum value, right? So that's the max. We know that's because what we're doing is summing all of these. So this bottom one is the sum of all of these. So the biggest one of these is going to be the biggest sum of what the reindeers can carry. I don't even know which one it is. I don't really care, because in the question it just says how many total calories is that elf carrying. So 69,281. 69,281. That's the right answer. I got a gold star. And I learned something about Excel, which is pretty cool. All right, so let's continue to part 2. So the elf carrying the most calories might run. To avoid this unacceptable situation, the top 3 elves oh dear. So basically we have to find the top 3. How many are those carrying in total? Ooh, that's a trickier problem. Right, because I can't just use max anymore. I don't know if there's like a max 2 or something. I don't know, let's Google it. Google Sheets second largest value. Oh, but that might not be, oh dear. That might not be the second largest total. Ugh. Okay, so say the last snack is only worth 1. Because we have all of these in one column, right? This might be the second largest value, but it's not the second largest total, right? So I need to extract all the totals. I can use another if statement for that. Right, so I just do this sort of the same thing where I'm just going to extract if the one to the left is 0, make it equal to the one above and to the left. So equals if B10 equals 0, then I want it to be the one above. Okay. Yeah, and then it'll automatically autofill. That's kind of nice. So now I can do the same thing. Actually, you know what? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay. So instead of B1, I'm going to make this C1 to C, and it should be the same number, right? So now in this column right here, this is bugging me. Let's just make it blank. All right, so now we just have the numbers in there. All right, so now we have just this column is the totals. So there's the total, the max. Second largest value. Max. Ooh. Wait a minute. Large. Returns the nth largest. Oh, there we go. Look at that. It's right there. So we do large, same thing. So let's try this. We're going to do large from the same range. This will be the first largest. Same. Whoops. This one is going to be the second largest. And this one is going to be the third largest. So I used the large function. And so now all I need to do, I think it said total. Okay. So just say equals the sum of these three things. 201,524. 201,524. Did it. Yay. All right, so there you go. In about 20 minutes, maybe 15 minutes by the time I edit the video, we've gotten 2 gold stars. All right, so I've gotten 2 little stars here. Make sure you sign up on the Google Sheets if you want to have your school to be recognized, your stars for your school or as an individual competitor. And those are all available on mncomputerclub.com. So like Minnesota Computer Club, but with the MN to make it a little shorter. And if you have any questions, just email info@mncomputerclub.com. Thanks.